Which Eric?
Uh, let's go Eric Jermaine. Yeah. Screw you, Schmitty.
Okay.
Screw you, Schmitty. Let's talk to Jermaine.
Hey, I was gonna say you gotta start calling me Schmitty, baby. You
Yeah.
gotta start calling me Schmitty.
Schmitty, come on. And then
Eric Germain,
Eric,
do
this
it,
your
baby.
first time? Eric, Jermaine, this your first time unmuting on this call, that getting caught up. So 60 seconds. I like to make sure that you know that
Okay.
way you don't talk for 29. Jim Russman did that one time. He talked for 29. I was like, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. We got it on this back end. Right?
Got you. 60 seconds. I'm excited for to work on my shot. I'm working on my shot, and that's what I'm excited about. Uh, just getting my technique up, getting my skill set up, and we get this to the big man for the easy layup. The better I get with my shot. That's what I'm excited about.
I love that, man. Process oriented, just like we talked about yesterday. Process oriented. Good for you, Eric. Good to have you on the squad. And we're better now that you're here. Now that you're here for sure. I know, let me see. He told me to hold, please. He said, hold, please. You out there, Dr. Semler?
What's up, buddy?
Man, I tell you what, if I was doing much better, Preston, I would need a marching band behind me. Okay. I am blessed, highly favored. It's hard not to find gratitude when we're looking around right now. Let me see if I can highlight you. For me, at least. I don't care about everybody else. Um, let's talk about curiosity. Let's talk about curiosity. I have seen just with you doing resets the past, I don't know, couple weeks here. You've really leaned into that curiosity, leaned into just going in with really no agenda on a policy review. Now, we obviously have an agenda whenever mortgage protection because they requested the mortgage protection. I'm talking about policy reviews. But I think what you're doing in there, it even for the brand new agent, if they just understood, if they just understood how to be curious, what we're trying to do with our curiosity, I think it would help them learn this thing faster. You got anything on that?
I think every conversation we have starts with curiosity. And first and foremost, Preston Semler, directed Josh Busick, guest now part of the Derek Maddox, Jimmy Spieldenter, Delaney, Pritchett hierarchy. Just grateful to be grateful to be on this call this morning. I think whether it's an A lead, it's a call in lead, it's a bonus lead, or it's a previous client, we always want to come from a place of curiosity. And with the clients that I've helped in the past, I got a really short term memory, like a lot of us do. I don't remember what I did last week, let alone a client that I helped years ago. So, I'm already curious. Like, I'm thinking to myself, man, why the heck did we choose the amount of coverage we did? And I don't come at it like that, obviously, but guys, like, remind me because I don't remember what I did last week. Like, do you recall like why we settled on the amount of coverage that we did? Was it just what fit the budget at the time, or like, do you guys remember? And a lot of times they don't know, they don't remember what they have because they're not looking at their policy every day thinking about dying, right? So we're refreshing the memory and kind of even using the word curious in a sentence. When you're talking to someone, like, hey, would you be curious what some additional coverage might look like? That's a question. We don't remember why we settled on it. Well, oftentimes it was due to budget, is why we picked that option. Life happens, things change, so people are always curious about what's available to them. They don't want to be sold, but they do want to be educated on that. If that makes sense, Luke.
Makes a lot of sense. Now this, who here's working bonus leads right now? And a bonus lead is just not an A lead. Like CIAs, throw it in the chat. Okay, throw it in the chat. CIAs, Liz hand shot up. I saw the lead order, Liz. I saw it come through. I see everything. I see everything. All leads. The hell you did. Right down. We can see it all. It's a beautiful thing about AI. We see everything here. But how throw it in the chat if you're working bonus leads. A bonus lead is just not a CIA, an MIA, or a digital lighthouse A, I guess is I'm not working digital lighthouse myself. I prefer the analog stuff, but um how many, Preston, of your clients that you've been doing policy reviews with, hear me, guys. This is important. This is so important right here. If you're working bonus leads, the older the better, in my professional, unsolicited opinion. What percentage has purchased insurance again, and yours is still on the books?
Yeah, that that was a that was something to reaffirm. That really hit me. I shared this with you, and Tara and I we've talked about this a lot. Which she's been a huge fire to my feet, if you will, with going through and being persistent and doing these things. A lot, and I don't want to say all of them, because when we go back, we look at what we did, and I might ask, like, is that the only policy you have? Well, no, I have others, and then we'll walk through, and I'm hearing issue dates after we help them with a policy. Like, there's one client in particular, and I shared this on the call briefly last week. We ended up pivoting from Mutual of Omaha to American Amicable because Mutual of Omaha Living Promise was graded, so we got him a day one benefit with Dignity Solutions for $21 less. Come to find out, he purchased the Living Promise anyway. 6 months later, graded from another agent. So people are always curious about what it looks like to have more. The budget's tight. That's all I can afford. But then 6 months later, they turn around and spend another $200 on insurance. People are always curious. And the reason they do that is because they want to protect their family. People that buy life insurance buy more life insurance. When you're meeting with someone who already has insurance versus somebody who doesn't, I used to think that the person that doesn't have it is going to be an easier sale because they need it. They don't, they have all this debt, they have all these obligations and no coverage. Guess what? They didn't see value in it up to this point. Why would they see value now? And there are times we can help those families just because we got curious and we asked a lot of the right questions. We interrogated reality from there. But like, people who buy it, buy it. If they have it, they see value in it. Um, and it might just be from a luxury perspective that they want more as opposed to a necessity um, as well. But I've seen it quite a bit where people have bought more insurance since I helped them, and they buy the stuff that they get through the mail too. Like, I mean, they get all kinds of flyers in the mail, ads. Hey, free to sign up, no exam, just fill out the survey, send it back in, and they're almost always graded policies. I had a family that I actually went and sat with in person this time because they asked me, like, "Hey, listen, I've got all these policies. My husband has all these policies. We just don't know. We don't know what all we have. Like, I'll tell you what, you're 20 minutes away from me. I'll come sit with you guys and let's go through them." They had a stack, 6 or 7 policies between the two of them. And there was a couple of graded ones in there that they just filled out the form through the mail and sent it back in. Had no idea because nobody ever took the time to educate them. And when it's a graded policy or guaranteed, it's in like huge font, right? No, it's in the fine print. That especially when you see the ads and stuff on TV. As we get older, our eyesight improves, right? No, it gets worse. So of course, the people that see the Colonial Penn ads and all the stuff on TV, it's in the real tiny print at the bottom of their screen. So they have no idea. They just see $9.95 a month, and they jump at it. So it's always so important for us when we're talking with people. Like, we cannot make a recommendation so we know what they have. It's like trying to put a 100-piece puzzle together, and we only got 37 pieces. So we have to be curious and ask those questions.
I love that. There's a retirement question that you ask that has led to several resets. And just the way and how, like, I hope you guys are paying attention. This is so good. This isn't just policy review stuff here, people. I mean, you could ask this to your buddies. This is a very good warm market question. It's a great FIF reset question, in order to kind of get us down that track, right? To get us there. Could you just talk about how you're leaning into, they're 61. You're like, yeah, when you guys planning to retire? Like, I just love the way you kind of track down there. It gets me going.
Yeah. So, I mean, naturally, people want to retire someday. They want to be able to enjoy life. They busted their tail for 40 some years so they can enjoy it for 10 to 15, right? That's the American dream as it's laid out. So if I'm talking with somebody in their 50s or 60s, hey, so gosh, you've been working there for a while now. When's retirement? And I just let them answer like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to retire. Like, well, why? Like, tell me more. Well, we just have all this debt. Now we can pivot towards that, appropriate conversation. Or I just don't know if, I don't know if I have enough to retire. Like, well, talk to me about what you're doing. What are you currently doing for it? Well, I have a 401k, and, well, how much are you contributing to it? How much are they matching? So, by just asking a very surface level question of when's retirement, and really figure out what they're thinking about. And that conversation can go in so many different directions. And they're like, well, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to retire. Well, like if, obviously you have your mortgage, but like what else do you have that you're paying an interest rate on that's keeping you down? Well, I have, these credit cards, or I have, car loans, et cetera. And they just start opening everything up to talk about it. Like, well, I just helped, we just helped one of my clients last week go from being out of debt in 27 years and 6 months down to now they're going to be out of debt in 8 years and 11 months, and they're saving $100,000 in interest. Now, I don't know if you guys would be a good fit for that. We'd have to, ask a few more questions here to get an idea, but would that be something you would, be curious to know more about? But it starts very surface level, and then based on how they respond, we can take that and go anywhere with it. We have so many, and the thing is, like, when we're new here, like, we have no idea what's available out there. We know about mortgage protection, we know about life insurance, but man, when we get into these advanced markets like debt-free life, annuities, be able to protect people's retirement against loss, when you truly understand and believe in that, man, you just want to talk to everybody about it, because although you go into that conversation with no agenda, you can help that person no matter what their situation is.
Just want to
And
recap
like,
here. I just want to
yeah, go
recap
ahead.
real fast, Preston. Sorry, I thought you were at
Yeah,
a stopping point. But I want to make sure I got this right here. So it's like you're digging in with curiosity. You're asking some really good open-ended questions. Wait a minute, wait a minute. What do you mean you're not going to be able to retire? Right? And you're getting curious, a little bit concerned. You're not interrogating them. What do you mean you're not going to be able to retire? It's tonality, right? You guys heard this will be recorded, it'll be uploaded as long as YouTube starts acting right. It'll be there by the end of the day. But you're finding that problem through curiosity. They're telling you more. They're starting to spill the beans. And then all of a sudden, you're telling a quick story. Well, just last week, insert story that solves their problem. You guys follow me? Like this is sales 101 here. Find problem, tell story that solves problem very similar to that, right? Okay, I mean, you should have seen just the relief on her face when she was a little bit shocked, And I don't know if you would be able to qualify for it. I have some more questions for you, right? What do we do there? We gave them the story. We gave them a little, I got you $1. Y'all seen that commercial? I got you $1, right? And then we ripped it away because people love what they can't have or they might not be able to have. Well, I got this girl. She's great. You're gonna love her. Like, no, it's not it. Okay. Notice Preston again, like I'm just talking about fundamentals here. Notice Preston's heart rate never went up when he thought he was about to make money. That's so important because they can hear it. They can hear it in your tone. We've talked about this for months and months and months, just about the discrepancy of the tone, the pace, the posture, the excitement level, the engagement level. Like they feel it when the phone call starts and how the phone call ends. Like it has to be synonymous. It has to be the same. You guys follow me on that? We're just there to serve. There's nothing in it for us. The outcome is surrendered. And if you can force yourself into that posture, you will make a lot of more money. Okay? A lot of more money. And you'll have people calling you back at Christmas thanking you because they can finally put the right amount of gifts under the tree or spoil their grandkids or whatever. Right? Now keep going, Preston, because I cut you off.
no, at the end of the day, they're grateful for us. They're thanking us. Like, man, what can I do for you? And like, thank you for the opportunity to be educated on this. And like, what you end up hearing from a lot of people is, well, this seems too good to be true. Why doesn't everybody do this? Like, well, the reality of it is most people don't know about this. This was a tool that's only been available for the wealthy for many years, and now we're learning about it and we're just spreading the word. We're educating everyone. Like, have a playful tone throughout the conversation. Keep it light. Um, because at the end of the day, it's not fun to talk about, right? So we got to keep it light. But it's a different conversation when you talk about, we're so used to talking about death and what if and when, but when we can talk about helping get somebody out of debt, help protect somebody's retirement, get them a bonus, and set them up where they have income they'll never be able to outlive, regardless of the market. Man, that's a lot more fun to talk about. But we can't get there if we don't ask the right questions. And like, let me ask a question. Like, how many of you guys feel like, well, the FIF reset or the FIF, man, it's uncomfortable. It's too many extra questions. I just don't like doing it. How many feel that way? You know,
I used to feel
we've
that
all
way.
felt that way at some point,
Yeah.
right? So, is it really though? How are we making a recommendation for coverage to protect their mortgage, protect their family, if we don't know all about their situation? Everybody ever think about that? Like, how can you rightfully just present something to someone when you don't truly know if that's going to check all the boxes? It's not rocket science what we do. We just got to care. And when we truly care, we can be curious, naturally curious about how we can help them.
Got a lot of questions in the chat, Preston, asking about the right questions, and there's plenty of SoundClouds, there's all that stuff out there, but I'll give you a couple, and it kind of depends on on the scenario, like am I sitting with, well, it doesn't really matter if I'm sitting with a couple or not, but am I doing a policy review? Am I talking to my buddy, Warren Market, or am I doing like a mortgage protection sale? And for me, the way that I give myself permission, Tarl, to ask good questions, because I verify, and again, I'm not teaching you guys the basics. That's not why we're here, right, Preston? We're talking about some advancements at it. If you don't understand the lingo, you ain't been through base camp yet. That's it. Okay. Once you go through there, all this stuff's going to make sense. Like, oh, right. So got to go through that first. But um, I like to go over the mortgage info. That's what I prefer to do. As soon as I verify health in the appointment, I'm going into mortgage info. Yeah, I'm talking about equity. That's where I pull the equity out. So I gotcha. So I guess if you were to sell this home, Preston, how much do you feel like you could sell it for? 400,000? Jeez. And you only owe 250? How long y'all lived in there? 3 years. Did y'all just make like a huge down payment, or you've been paying extra? What in the world? How'd you get so much equity? We just bought it at the right time. Well, what a blessing that is. You guys must know what you're doing as far as real estate goes, huh? Yeah, I got you. Now, do y'all know how equity works? Y'all ever bought and sold a home before? Right? Well, yeah, we know how it works. Okay, perfect. So and I just repeat it back. I don't care if they say yes or no there. I'm going to repeat it back, right? And then I'm going to go over the two ways that people can lose homes, right? One's a fire sale because the cash flow dries up, which that could be from an illness, that could be from a death, whatever. Or, heaven forbid you miss three payments in a row, all of a sudden there's a foreclosure sign in your yard, and we know who gets the equity then, right? And they're like, yeah, the bank. I'm like, the bank's got enough money, they don't need y'all's too, huh? Yeah, exactly. Gotcha. So I guess here's how I open this up. You guys, this is where you need to pay attention here. I guess kind of walk me through, Preston. What do you guys have currently that could help make sure that doesn't happen? Like, as far as life insurance goes, what do you guys have outside of your job? I'm getting that info, I'm naming that puppy, right? Okay, what else? Like, you guys got money under the mattress, like a 401k, IRA. Like, what could she use to make sure, Preston, that she can stay in that home based on what you currently have? Because I don't want to overinsure you. Like, what are they going to say? Oh, I don't want to talk about that. They would be dumb. They would be dumb. If you do your role and purpose right and you tell them they might not need it, and then you say a question like that, I mean, what are they going to do? Combat you on that? I've never had anybody, we're at that point. Trust is so high because we're just having a conversation that I'm in charge of. Anything you want to add there, Preston?
That's so good. I think, this some impactful tips when you may not, you're still getting good at knowing, like, what do I ask next? If you're getting very surface level or short answers, instead of just glazing over it, moving on, hey, now can walk me through that a little bit? Like, how do you mean by that?
Hmm.
Or can we unpack that a little bit more? So if they say, we ask them, like, what would that look like for you? Oh, it'd be tough. Now, when you say tough, like, how do you mean though? Well, we would struggle. Now, but I totally understand you would struggle. Most families would, but I guess in what way though? Like, walk me through that a little bit more there. Just those little things at the end there. They need to elaborate, and they will. We just have to, like, can you walk me through that a little more? Just little things like that make all the difference in the world.
I don't know, Preston. This is just hard to talk about. And then Preston goes, hard to talk about? And then she said, well, yeah, it's blah, 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 blah. It's crazy. Just repeating back in a curious tone. They will just like word vomit all over you, give you the real stuff. You know, nervous, you know? Go ahead, Preston. I know you got something.
Uh, yeah. Hey, listen, it's hard to talk about for everybody. Wouldn't it be better to get this taken care of the right way now and not have to have this difficult conversation again, though,
Hmm.
and just attack that pain and give them a way to remove it?
Hmm. Mama always told me a biopsy was better than an autopsy. Do you guys want to figure this out on the front end or kind of hope and pray on the back end?
Yeah.
Same,
Yeah.
same thing.
Like, when you're talking about critical period, like, hey, mom always taught me it's better to have something than nothing at all. Wouldn't you agree?
Hmm. If you want to say something very forward that you want them to agree with, all you've got to say is, my mama always told me, because they'll call you an idiot, but they'll never call your mom an idiot. And
Yep.
if you think that I'm lying, go read Zig Ziglar's book, because that's where I got it from. Okay. And to this day, I've used it thousands of times and I've never heard anybody combat it. Right? Very, very simple stuff. I hope this helps. Okay. Get curious today. Lean in, use your tonality. When you're in the Charles, next time you're in the FIF and they say, and you say, I guess what would that, I guess if, like, heaven forbid, Preston, you were to have, I don't know, died yesterday, and Terry, you were left to bridge this gap between the 2,000 you have coming in and the $3,500 worth of bills. I guess what would that be like for you? And Tara says the infamous, it's my favorite thing that they say. Man, I don't know. Who here's ever gotten an I don't know? Just raise the hands. Raise the hands. You ever gotten an I don't know there? Right? It's, and then I learned this from Jeremy Miner not long ago. He says, I got you. Well, I guess if you really thought about it, what would you have to do? Just ask the same question. Well, I'm really not sure. I got you. What comes to mind? Right? What would your options be? Just keep asking, right? Curious, pace, pause on the important stuff, brush through the non-important stuff. Okay? You guys are going to figure this out. Promise you will, because I'm still figuring it out. See you guys at the top. Peace.